All right, good morning. We are learning several ways to divide fractions in our classes. And one of the strategies is to use a common denominator in order to divide the fractions. So I just want to go over that really quickly with you. Common denominators, you're familiar with that from elementary school, where we have two fractions and they have different denominators, and usually when we add and subtract, we always need to have common denominators in order to add and subtract those fractions. But we can also use fractions with common denominators to divide very easily. And so the steps are written here in your notes. We see step one, we just want to rewrite both of the fractions, or whether they're whole numbers or mixed numbers, we want them to have common denominators. So we rewrote 2/3 and 4/5 with common denominators, as you see right here. I'm not going to go through that process, but we should kind of know how to do that already. Basically, we just divide straight across. 10 divided by 12 and 15 divided by 15. Now let's pause for a second and see, what does it mean when we have a fraction where the denominator is 1 that we see right here. When a fraction or a number is in a fraction where the numerator, you have something for the numerator and then the denominator is 1, for example, a whole number could be the whole number 5 or something. So if I had the whole number 5 and I wanted to write it as a fraction, I would say it's 5/1. So we can see that the denominator of 1 does not need to be seen. We could just take that denominator out and just say 5 is the number here. So any number that's over 1 is just whatever the numerator is. That's what the number is. We don't have to see a denominator of 1. So when we're dividing these fractions, we don't necessarily need to see the 1 down here. So from now on, I'm not going to really pay attention to the denominator because it's always going to be the number 1 because the two denominators are the same number. So the answer is 10/12. Now where did I get 10/12? I simply wrote the division problem in fraction form. 10 divided by 12 is 10/12. It can be written in fraction form because the fraction bar right here means it is a division problem. So this is 10 divided by 12 is 10/12, and we can rewrite it as 5/6. And yes, you guessed it, 5/6 means 5 divided by 6. It's simply the answer written in fraction form, 5/6. So very quick, very easy. 10 divided by 12, we simplify it, done. 5/6 is our answer to that question right there. Let's just take a look at some other examples of where we might see whole numbers or mixed numbers used, and the same idea is going to be used with these numbers as well. So let's take a look at 5 divided by 3/7. 5 written as a fraction, I'm just going to write it up here, 5, nope, I'm going to write it in red here, 5/1. That's the number 5 right there. So my problem is really 5/1 divided by 3/7. Now we need common denominators. So let's just do some green here. I want the denominator 1 to be a 7, so I'm thinking 5/1 equals something over 7. I know I can multiply by 7, and get 35/7. So my new math problem is 35/7 divided by 3/7. Now that I have common denominators, I just look at the numerators and write them both down. 35 divided by 3. So I wrote the division problem in fraction form. And the answer is 35/3. You can look at it and treat it as a fraction. And we can make this a mixed number. So 3 goes into 35 11 times. 11 times 3 is 33. There's 2 left over, so 2/3 is left over. 5 divided by 3/7 is 11 2/3. We can also ask the question, how many groups of 3/7 is in 5? There's 11 whole groups and 2/3 of a group. Same thing with our mixed numbers. We can simply first change those mixed numbers into fraction form. That would be definitely the first step so that we have only fractions. Now let's make these common denominators. So I'm going to multiply by 2 to make an 8, and of course we have a 26 up there. So the answer, I'm only looking at the numerators. 26 divided by 7. And I'm going to write that in fraction form, 26 divided by 7. Remember the denominators, we don't have to worry about those because 8 divided by 8 is 1. We could take that out. We don't have to look at that. We don't have to see a denominator of 1. So this fraction, 26 divided by 7, 26 sevenths, is also our answer. We can simply make that a mixed number. So 7 goes into 26 3 whole times. That's 21, and there's 5 left over. So there are 3 and 5/7 groups of 7/8 in 3 and 1/4. And that's our answer. So you can take a look at, this is page, what page is this on? It's right, 41. 41 out of your textbook. Page 41 has these problems. These are all easily solved using common denominators. So like number 14, you can see those already have common denominators very quickly. I know 3 divided by 3 is 1, so let's not worry about that. The answer, what do you think the answer would be? 2 divided by 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2. So some of these you're going to have to change, like number 15. We want that to be 16. That's pretty easy. We can just multiply by 8. And then we also have to multiply the numerator by 8. Now we can see very easily our division problem. What answer would you get for this? So 8 divided by 1, we're just looking at the two numerators. 8 divided by 1, well, 8 over 1 is 8. All right, so go ahead and do the rest of those. The answers are also on this note sheet, so you can check yourself when you're done. Thank you.